got no map, we got no map, we got no chart, ain't got no chart, no GPS, no clock, no globe, no way we know by heart. But then who cares? Yeah, who cares? Because it's clear, you know it's clear. We're in for some adventures and memories to feel good beers. So come get lost in a story with us on a plane or train or in a bus. Bring your curiosity and never topography.
Nice. Hey, we have an intro, guys.
We have an intro.
Welcome
We're
to.
official now.
We are official.
We did it.
We have. It's like we're a real podcast now.
We're a real podcast
Speaking
now.
of podcast, welcome to the Tapography podcast. I am Dave here with my usual cohorts, Matt and Aaron. How we doing,
hey.
fellas?
What's going on?
Oh, buddy.
Just drinking beers.
Drinking beers,
You know.
beers.
Yeah.
That's right.
What have y'all have going on lately?
Oh, I don't know. No trips for me, actually. It's been kind of quiet. You're in
February's been a
you're in
quiet
the high
month,
country.
right?
Yes.
I actually
Yeah.
got out a little bit. Last week I went skiing for a day.
Oh, we get it, Aaron.
Whoa, slow down, Aaron. That's a big day.
It was a big day. It was
For
a big
all-
day.
All
I
you
saw the
peasants
pictures.
out
They did
there,
look
Aaron owns his own skis.
Yeah, trust me, he will
Like,
show them to
like
you.
several
if you
people
ask.
in the world, I do own my own skis.
You're the
I
only
do,
person I know.
That's
He'll
that's
show you
it's-
his big ski, and then he'll show you his army skis.
I will. That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's the cold. It's because it's cold outside. And so I got up to Tahoe for a couple days. I'm from the Bay Area, and so it's about a 3.5 hour drive each way. So I mean, I did drive 7 hours to ski 6, and that's fine. But
I mean-
it was fun. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Sometimes you gotta, like, especially in the middle of the week, like there's nobody there. It's a great way to get
I
out
feel
and,
so
enjoy
sorry
a little bit.
for you.
Yeah, it was really terrible.
Oh.
It was worth it. It was definitely worth the PTO day to get out and do that a little
You
bit.
know,
so.
and I got out there and the pal wasn't even that fresh.
Yeah, I didn't even get pitted at all.
No, he just finishes up, grabs a couple slices of za.
That's right.
He's
couple,
good.
a couple brewskis, brah.
Yeah, I did go into the the little bar down at the bottom of the hill, and they were playing Out Cold in there, and I was like,
Fantastic movie.
I walked in, I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess I'm at to stay for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, so you got you sent us these pictures, and they had an Oscar there,
An Emmy award.
an Emmy award.
That's right.
Well, let me not conflate it too
Aaron
much. It
has
was a
touched Emmy.
daytime.
I'm sorry. Aaron has touched an Emmy.
Several, actually. But to be fair, it was a daytime Emmy. I don't want to conflate it too much.
Oh, this was in the daytime?
That's what they call her, daytime Emmy.
Well, at this point, he's just reading off the police report now.
Yeah. No, but yeah, they had an Emmy there. It's at Palisades, Tahoe, and there's like a really big, like, I don't know, culture over there of kind of like outdoorsy movies and photography, cinematography, or whatever. And it was for this, I guess, National Geographic show that is not coming to mind at the moment. But it was like up in the Arctic, and so this guy won like best cinematography, and he left it at the bar because he thought it'd be fun. He's like a local, and so if you think about an Emmy, it's got like the little ball that it's like holding up, and it's got the wings
Yep.
out the back. You can
Mhm.
fit a beer in between the wings and the ball, and then drink out of the Emmy. And so I got
That's
to do
pretty
that.
fun.
I got to do that, and I was like, "This is why do I live anywhere else? Why don't I do this all the time?" And then I
Yeah.
looked at housing prices. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." But
I loved the idea that someone was like, "I think I can fit a beer in there."
exactly, 100%. I bet I could stick a beer in this, and I bet it would stay the whole time.
And I bet it didn't take that long for someone to
No,
think
it
that.
was immediately. It
No.
was immediately.
Whenever they started doing this, back whenever they invented the Emmys, they were like, "Yeah, I could bet we're gonna make this big enough to fit a beer inside."
What's the standard beer can size? Yeah, make it about that big.
Yeah.
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 There was talk about circumference for sure.
Yeah, the guy who was the designer of that award was like, "Yeah, this is going to happen. We got to make this happen."
I like to think that this guy was designing a beer holder and just ended up being like, "Oh yeah, Jim, we're going to use this for the award ceremony." He's like, "Oh, I never got started on that." Yeah. This is
Yeah.
for the award ceremony.
Yeah, I'll just put some wings on it. It'll be fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, people like wings. Feel like they can
That's
fly.
nice. They can fly.
People think
That's
it's an
all.
angel or
Yeah.
Something weird.
It's Art Deco. People like it. It's culture. It's culture. Read a book.
Read a fucking book.
They should have put skis on it.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to do that already.
Surprised we're not putting skis on it right now.
Yeah. I wonder if it's one of those, because some of those awards you can't sell. Like
No.
if you win them, if you try to sell them, like you sign something basically like, if you ever want to get rid of this, you have to give it back.
Yeah.
Which is that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, kind of.
It's my award.
It's also a daytime Emmy.
Yeah.
It's like one step above a Soapy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you didn't win this for like best picture of the year or anything. Like,
It's like the third most prestigious daytime award.
Yeah, some B-level actors and actresses are scheduled to appear.
They might not, but they will be scheduled.
They're on the schedule.
They're on the schedule. That's true.
Well, good stuff. Just to kind of give a little context here
For our
anybody
listener
who's-
out there.
for our for Emmy.
We are an Emmy and skiing podcast.
Yes. What we do is we kind of read through some adventure books. Is really what we try to narrow it down to and talk about them. And we touch base on some classics, go into some stuff that might be new, but and we're drinking beer and laughing and joking around.
Adventure can
the whole
mean
time.
many different things. It doesn't have to mean.
Often does.
No,
like-
based on our past books, adventure means a lot of pain and sacrifice.
And immense suffering.
Immense,
Yes,
immense suffering.
Like,
Yeah, no one's having a fun time at any of these for some reason.
Yeah.
But
like, can we just get a fun adventure book for fuck's sake?
We need to read Dora the Explorer next or something.
Shit. Yeah, we'll learn some Spanish along
Somehow,
the way too.
somehow we'll pick the one where Boots dies.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we've
Gets
already had
Ebola.
we've already had some very sad moments in some of these past books.
Yes,
already.
indeed we have.
Yeah.
But the idea behind it is we just have a casual conversation about a book that one of us chose. We each choose at the end of every episode. This week was my turn, or this podcast, really a lot more than a week, was my turn for this book. And so the other thing we'd like to do is we'd like to have at least some type of connection between the book and the beer. It can be a very intense connection, or it could be a very loose, some might say no connection at all connection. But do we want to go? Yeah. Matt literally was just saying how, I'm just going to find a beer and drink it. I don't care.
I'm gonna get a beer that I want to drink.
Yeah, that's called beer.
Yeah. It's just an everyday. This is just an afternoon for me. I'm
That's
talking.
very-
It just happened to be recorded this time. So.
That's very Virgil Cole of you.
Oh, wow. For those
Wow.
of you who have not read this
Yeah,
episode's
David,
book.
give us a quick synopsis
So what this
of
is,
this book, and what
Read us
book are
the-
we even talking about?
Read us the book.
It was my. It's really not that long of a book, so maybe I could. It was my choice, and I chose one of my favorite books of all time, Appaloosa by Robert B. Parker. Robert B. Parker is well known for this book and also the Spencer series. He's probably best known for.
Yeah.
And I really like the way he writes characters that are just really in your face and no shit taking kind of people, and just really fast pace. Get to the action. He is pretty good descriptive wise, and he writes well, but he's let's get to the point of what's happening here. And I really enjoy that. Appaloosa is a Western. Main character is Everett Hitch with his best bud, Virgil Cole, which Aaron just referenced. And Virgil Cole is very much a no-nonsense kind of guy, which I really like about him.
Very much.
And they're these two lawmen that kind of go from town to town. And when towns need help getting in order, law in order, let's say, you hire Virgil Cole and Everett Hitch to do that.
Yeah.
And
you're kind of seeing the story through more of Hitch's.
Everett Hitch is the narrator.
Everett's the narrator, and then Virgil's he's just there all the time.
Yeah.
All
Right.
the time.
All the time.
All the
These two guys are they're with each other all the time. They're partners. Virgil is really the leader of the two, and Everett just kind of follows him around, but he's a badass in his own right. Former soldier, went to West Point, all that good stuff. And they just go from town to town once they get hired, and they enforce law and order wherever they go to make sure the town stays stable. But they do get paid for it. So,
and that's the book, guys.
Yeah.
I really
There you
appreciate
go.
everybody listening in.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Next
we'll
time,
we'll get into detail.
we'll definitely have more conversation about it, I hope.
There's a lot of parts that bring up conversation, kind of thing. The book, I don't know. There's
a lot of complexities to this book. As
there
short
are.
as it may be.
There's because it like not a ton happens, but also
a lot happens.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot happens in those individual.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, I think both of you guys, I think, had alluded to that they're both pretty it's a pretty no nonsense type of guys, and so they're not a lot of like dialogue in the book of like,
Right.
oh, I feel about this, about that, and they're like waxing poetically about something that's going on. It's pretty much action the whole time, more or less.
Yeah.
And so being short without that like amount of like conversational pieces, there's a lot happens within the how many few pages it is.
They definitely don't beat around the bush when in their conversation, straight to the point. It's almost like they don't really want to talk.
Yeah.
So they're just like, I'm going to make my point as quick as I can, and then let's stop talking.
It's like,
well, as much as Hitch is narrating the book, he's not narrating a lot. Like a lot of it is actual conversation happening, not in his head.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
He's not like describing the scenery and stuff. He's like,
much different than how some of our prior books have gone, where it might actually all be, coming from the narrator's head, like mind point of view, there. But before we get down to business, there again for the we like to tie in drinks, beers, anything. We kind of joked about this. If we were going to really narrow down a drink for this book, whiskey would be it.
Whiskey and coffee.
Yeah, whiskey and coffee. If it was one, it was the other. If it wasn't one, it was the other.
This would probably be a much shorter podcast if we if we went that route. But we can kind of talk about Dave. This is yours. Do you want to go first or last?
I'll go last. I want to see what you
Ricky
guys.
Bobby. Yeah.
All right.
I want to see what you guys picked first.
I'd be happy to go first.
Yeah, go for it.
So I want to get this on the. There it is.
That's beautiful.
So I chose. This is a brewery that's close to us, and actually a brewery I've used for a podcast before. But this is Olfactory Brewing here in San Francisco, and this is the Wizard of Saz. Hold it up. This is an audio podcast, but I'm hold it up for my buddies here to see. And it is a American Pilsner that's made here in San Francisco. So the reason that I chose this, and the reason and the way I'm going to tie it back into the story, is that this beer was brewed as a collaboration with New Belgium that up until like 2 weeks ago existed in San Francisco and a lot of the places, I think, but then they closed down a couple of their like satellite locations. But on the side of the can, it talks about how it was brewed with our friends at New Belgium, San Francisco. They wanted to make a beer together that they both were very proud of. And then 3 days later, the thing closed down. So I think, but what I really want, the way I like to think about this that ties to the book is how you have these two groups. It's the story that of Appaloosa is really somewhat of a story about friendship, and friendship that takes all types of, it takes all types of,
use your words.
I know, right? Yeah, it's a different type of friendship. It's not necessarily
He's tearing up over there, guys.
I might be, but
the attitude that these two guys have towards each other is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, are they friends? I mean, they're definitely they're companions. If they're not friends, they're definitely companions.
I think they are friends, but they don't want to admit that they're friends. They don't want to,
especially towards the end. There's a couple moments. One that I'll talk about, and I'm sure
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But
but
we'll talk
because
about when we get there. But there's certain points that you're like,
But it's about
they understand each other.
Yeah, this book, in the end of this book, there's a friendship that doesn't necessarily stay intact from a companionship standpoint, and that was the story of this beer. It was a beer brewed out of friendship that then one of those had to go away, and that's kind of sad, but it's delicious, and that's cool.
Nice. Very
I'm
nice.
glad you found it. What do you got, Matt?
Well, man, I don't know how I follow that shit. Jesus. I got to come up with some, I got to pull something out of my ass here.
That's a dissertation.
And then I'll show you the beer. So my beer, again, for those who don't know, I'm here in the high country of Colorado. I went with Outer Range Sidekick.
Okay.
For a couple reasons. One, the name is on it. The can design is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of a Western theme to it. But this one, what really caught my eye is this is a 4.4% ABV Kolsch. That, to make a long story short, Outer Range actually has a brewery in the French Alps, and this is actually brewed in the French Alps and imported into the country here. So yeah, it was kind of great. I know I'm getting some middle fingers here from the team here, because
Really happy for you.
they're
Really happy for
real
you.
jelly. Yeah. But so far this thing's been great. I was a little surprised. It's a little bit more hoppy for a Kolsch than I was expecting, which I'm definitely a fan of that. Yeah, so all in all, it's this one's great. But my connection to, obviously, to the story is Hitch is kind of for lack of a better term, a sidekick to Virgil Cole, and that partnership, I guess. Definitely it goes through some tests and stuff like that throughout the story, but like any good partnership or sidekick there, it kind of stands the test of time. But yeah, so that's what kind of brings me into that. And yeah, so Dave, we'll kind of give it to you, the typewriter over here.
Yeah. So I the way I went was the name of this beer kind of stood out to me. The can is not as Western as I would like it to be, but it's still good. So part of the book takes place in Colorado, not all of it. I'm also in the great state of Colorado, and I chose a Colorado brewery that's pretty well known, Breckenridge Brewery. And I believe the two characters meet in Trinidad, if I recall. But that has anything to do with Breckenridge. They just happen to be in Colorado. But this beer is called Funslinger.
Ooh,
And
Nice.
it's a
That is
lager.
a nice can design.
That's a nice
Yeah,
can
it is
design.
nice. It's just not really Westerny.
That's nice cans, buddy.
Well, thanks, man.
Show us your cans.
But this is very much a book about gunslingers. There's a lot of gunslinging going on in this book, which is also partially why I love Westerns in general, but partially why I like this book is the action of the gunslinging. And Funslinger just kind of spoke to me when I was doing some research about what beer I should pick. And it's a nice crisp lager.
Crispy boys.
There you go, crispy boys.
I'm drinking a crispy boy too. Don't you worry.
No one's calling us that. Let's not.
The beer is not us.
But nice. That's awesome.
Nice.
Well,
Good
we all got
choices, buddies.
some great beers. Cheers, dudes.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah. Well, I say we. I don't know why I just went into Yosemite Sam there, but I say we.
That's more
Foghorn
Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah. Let's take a break, and then we'll jump back in.
Come back and talk about this book.
All
Yeah.
right.
Take a deep dive in.
And we are back here to talk about one of my favorite books, Appaloosa by Robert B. Parker. Once again. So I'll kind of set up the story a little bit more for everybody. So there's this town of Appaloosa in New Mexico, I believe.
Pretty
And
close to Trinidad. Don't they reference Trinidad?
they do reference Trinidad.
Yeah.
I just said that a little bit ago.
That's where I heard. I knew I heard it somewhere.
Matt's clearly paying attention.
You guys talk about Trinidad?
But yes, they do reference Trinidad. That's where Virgil and Everett meet. And so this town of Appaloosa, there's this guy right outside town named Randall Bragg, and he's got a little bit of money. He owns a big cattle ranch outside of town, and he kind of thinks he runs this town. It's his own little kingdom that he has, and it's causing issues with the townsfolk. People are getting hurt, injured, murdered, whatever, by all his ranch hands. And so the council of this town get together, and they ask Virgil and Hitch to come take over as lawmen in their town. And it's kind of an interesting thing that happens when they first get there is basically there's shit going down right away. And Virgil has this list of demands that says you have to sign this and meet all of our demands, or we won't help you control your town. And as this is happening, like shit's going down, and the guys are like, well, this basically gives you, control over the entire town. We don't have any say. And he's like, take it or leave it. And so they end up signing it. And then Everett and Virgil go in and take care of business in saloon, like right off the bat. And you learn right then how much of a badass Virgil really is.
But it also that like the things that he was asking start to make sense.
Exactly.
Because he is not going, he is, once you very quickly learn the personality that he has is, he is not going to do something and then try to ask the sheriff, is that okay?
Yeah.
Like he's like, the way I'm going to handle this, I need to be the ixo de facto.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, he becomes the sheriff of the town, and he doesn't really have to answer to the mayor or the council or anything like that.
Which are jokes, by the way.
Yeah. Well, there's no wonder why this town kind of loses its control over itself.
Yeah.
So basically, these guys are, causing trouble in the saloon, and Virgil just walks right up and he's like, put him. I think one guy's like pissing on the bar or something like that.
Something. And
he's like, put it away, and they're ready to kill him and shoot him, and he's you can try, basically. He's always calm, and he just guns them both down. I do believe, or maybe Hitch gets one of them, but basically they gun everybody down real quick, and it's no big deal to them. And then you kind of learn these guys don't mess around. So, what were you guys' thoughts on just kind of the introduction to the book, and Hitch and Cole together?
Yeah, I'll go. I liked it. At first, I thought it was a little slow, trying to kind of getting into the dynamic between Hitch and Virgil. But I definitely liked it. Did kind of set the tone right off the bat. You actually kind of knew right off the bat what type of person Virgil Cole was, but you didn't know that much about Hitch. I felt like. I felt like you kind of learn about him kind of as the story kind of goes.
I think it's the other way around, right? Like Hitch tells his story, his background in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm coming across it where I felt like you understood that Virgil was a no nonsense, just very much.
You understand what he's about real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, like I liked how they kind of how the kind of book kind of got into it. I go into this all the time, but I listen to the audiobook. I had my issues with that, but that wasn't with the book itself. That was with the audiobook, how it was.
Well, yeah, there's like the dialogue in this book is very like, we talked about this, but it's like straight and to the point. So it's like, I'm going to go over here. He says, okay, I'm going to stay here. He said, and
I actually halfway through this book, I had to listen to another book for a minute to because my brain was like, is this how every book is? And I just didn't notice it till now. Like my brain was breaking. But
let me check this real quick.
That you never really get over that part of it. But it didn't take away from the overall book itself. Like you said, I think going into it was great.
I mean, I agree with that. I think like the prose is very brutal. Like the story and like the land and the what's happening in this town is brutal, and the way that they tell the story in the book is brutal too. Speaking of which, So there's like the intro with Cole and Virgil, obviously, or
Mhm.
Virgil Cole, and then with Hitch. And
Hitch.
so before that, though, the very like the prologue of the intro to the book is
Yeah.
like the,
Where they kill the
yeah. There's like
current-
there's a couple just walking down the street,
Yeah.
and the guy gets shot for like standing up for his wife, newlywed
Yeah.
wife, and then they like rape the wife, and then they don't ever talk about them again.
Never, they
No.
never come back to it. But that just kind of set the tone for that's the time and the era that that this is happening.
I was like, oh crap! Now, like, we're in for it.
Yeah.
So actually, I was waiting the entire time for that to come back into play. I thought like Allie was going to end up being the girl
Oh,
from
yeah.
the beginning,
Oh,
or and then
Allie.
they just never did.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
all
got
right,
real
well,
big vibes of the intro, the opening scene to Tombstone. Basically,
Yeah,
is
yeah. It was just setting the tone for the
the
It
cowboys
is.
showing up after right outside the church.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, and then the original, I guess, sheriff of the town goes and confronts Brad because it was his
man,
ranch
yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They kill him, and then
They
the
kill
deputy
him.
runs
This
off.
was one of those
Yeah.
books, like in certain movies, as soon as something happens, you just go, "He's dead."
yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
you can always tell when somebody's about to die in this
Oh, yeah.
book.
If they just get introduced and then they're doing
Yeah.
something stupid, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
he did.
You know, he did.
It's like Samuel Jackson going through the raptor fence to go
Yeah.
turn the power back on. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Hold
not
on
gonna
to your
work.
butts.
Hold on.
And the Raptors have reached the fence. Yep.
Yeah, so they pretty well establish the no nonsense stuff with Virgil and Hitch, and how they are not people to be reckoned with. But a lot of people have to learn that the hard way in this book. Like, there's so many different guys that like to challenge them because they think they're better, and then they just end up dead real quick. But you mentioned Allie French, who shows up a little later in the book after Virgil and Everett have been running the town for a bit and getting a little comfortable. People know them now.
Allie
What
French,
a
man.
bitch.
Allie French is your friend's girl that you just can't tell them you don't like. It's
Ah.
just, that's
She
just who
is-
she is.
That
man.
is the most apt description. Like, your friend is dating her, and they seem to be okay together, I guess, but you just hate that
His
girlfriend.
like so Cole, not Cole. Hitch's like prostitute girlfriend / like side piece or whatever she is.
Yeah, I think her
don't know.
name's Katie.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
just like she knows it from the get go. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
don't trust this bitch.
I liked that. I liked how she
Yeah.
was able to judge people's character.
I
Like,
kind of wanted more. Of
She's
her. I
the
wish she
voice of
was-
reason through
Yeah.
this thing. Yeah.
I kind of wanted more of her. I thought she was a good character. Like I liked her.
Yeah,
like,
she's
voice
not
of
in it
reason,
very long.
but she like they didn't. leave
yeah,
me
just
with
here
her.
and there whenever Hitch needs to.
She's like one of those characters that could always be there. We just don't ever hear from her.
Yeah,
Right. Like in other books we've read, like where someone is a little more introspective, that's like the voice that you hear is like this like, internal voice. She's kind of the internal voice for the entire book,
yeah,
more
Yeah.
or less. Of like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Just trying to tell you that this is crazy.
yeah.
which I like. I mean, I think it's an interesting use of that kind of like voice and character. But yeah, I don't know. I guess Piggy that were how much like different characters in the book. I really liked her, and she did not have a big enough part for my taste. But yeah, Allie can go whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, Allie is not. Let's talk a little bit more about.
Let's talk
her.
about
So-
Allie.
So she shows up, kind of in the middle, not in the middle, but once they've been in the town for a while, and Virgil's kind of taken with her. She's got like luggage and baggage, and she's apparently a very
Yes, she does.
yes, no pun intended, but also
Definitely.
pun intended.
100%.
And she's clearly like she's by herself. She's struggling to figure out what she's doing.
She's a widow, apparently.
She's a widow apparently, and she's just looking to kind of get back on her feet, I guess. And she plays piano and can sing a little bit, so she kind of starts working at the saloon. And then Virgil,
Can I say real quick? I love how they constantly talk about how she sucks at playing the piano.
yeah,
Like every
But
time they
she's-
talk about it, they're like, it's not just like, yeah, she was playing piano. She's like, she was playing piano very poorly.
pretty poorly.
It's really
Pretty
great.
poorly. They're like
Um,
oddly specific with it.
and like they I do feel like he's like the author's going out of his way to show you how terrible
Absolutely.
Allie is.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
feel like she's based on this. Her character is based on an actual person that plays
That he just hated.
Oh, yeah.
It was like you said, it was one of his friend's girlfriends that she's based off of.
Yeah,
She's like,
he didn't even change the name. That's her actual
Oh,
name.
yeah. No, Robert B. Parker's got some dude somewhere who's super pissed at him.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, my wife is Allie French.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, no, dude, that's a character. Her name is actually Allie French.
Yeah, it was
She's the
like,
heir.
You didn't even change the name.
She's the heir to the fried onion in a can fortune.
Yeah. Her grandfather, John B. French.
John Calhoun
invented-
French.
Johnny B. French.
He invented the French fry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. French fry.
Yeah. She comes from money, man.
Comes from money. That's how you know. Anyway, I just had to point out, like, they just talk about how shitty she
I'm
is. at
happy you
piano.
did
And
because
every possible turn. Maybe so you guys listened to it, but I read the book like in my Kindle or whatever, and like literally it made me laugh out loud every time. They're like, she's playing piano, and everyone's like looking at her like she's an idiot. And like, yes, that's just
yes.
Yeah.
just tickles me in a
Well,
great
yeah,
way.
I actually have I read my old copy of the book that was a little torn up, and I had to tape it back together.
What do you do to books?
Gave it a little charm.
Yeah.
It's
What do
just
you
an
do with
old.
these
It's just
books?
an old book. I've had it for a long time.
You using it for what do you use it for?
Sometimes I just need.
Some of the pages are stuck together. You know, so-
The part where back to Allie though, yeah. So she's not only is she kind of like of a background that's not very clear, but she's also kind of messing around with everybody's heads at the very least.
Yes,
She's trying to control the situation through
Oh, yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
different tactics.
She's an attractive lady, and she knows she's an attractive lady, so she uses that to kind of
yeah.
to
She's
get
in love.
protection and get what she wants.
Yeah, she's in love with who's ever in charge.
Yes,
at the
and
time.
they explicitly talk about that in the book. How so when Virgil's around, he's number one, and she's all about him and in love with him. But there is a scene in the book where Virgil and Allie are building a house together. They've become that close in Appaloosa, and Hitch is going to check on her because Virgil asked him to, and she ends up kissing Everett Hitch.
Yeah, he went to see the house.
He
No
went to
one
see
had
the
really
house.
been
That's
over
right.
there
He
yet.
hadn't been there yet, and
Yeah.
Virgil was like, Allie keeps talking about how you haven't come to see the house, so he goes to go see it, and she ends up kissing him, and then I think he kind of gives in initially, and then is like, no, we shouldn't be doing this, and she gets all mad at him and starts yelling at him.
Definitely, you learn a little bit more about Hitch there, and you learn a lot more about her
Mm.
there. Yeah,
That's a
yeah, because
theme.
you're right. He literally tells her in the nicest way, like, "Hey, I do like you, but Cole is my partner." Like, and she literally gets pissed at him.
Yeah.
right.
She's like, why aren't you taking your clothes off with me?
That's verbatim.
That's
right there.
pretty much
verbatim.
what she said. Yeah. That was,
So yeah,
Yeah.
and that he doesn't tell Virgil right away, but it really doesn't end up being a problem between them.
And actually, I think she's the one that ends up telling him, right?
Yeah, she is the one.
She tries to throw him under the bus
Yeah, and it didn't
or the
really
wagon,
work.
I guess. eh?
Well, so let's talk about that. How Bragg, when Cole and Hitch are first in town, Bragg comes and visits them in the saloon and tries to, sweet talk them and bring them over to his side and all this stuff. And Virgil ain't having none of it. And so Bragg's trying to come up with a plan to get rid of Cole and Hitch, basically. And so at a certain point, he hires these guys called the Ring Brothers, or not the Ring Brothers, the Shelton Brothers. Ring is the leader. And apparently Hitch Hitch hasn't, but Cole has come across these guys before, and they're very well-known gunslingers. They kind of do the same thing that Cole and Hitch do, but so they're hired by Bragg to basically come and take over the town or rescue Bragg. Because at this point, Bragg has been arrested, right? So they find a witness that comes and visits them. I don't. Matt's making a face for those of you that can't see, which is all of you. Bragg ends up getting arrested, right? Because he's they have a witness come forward, the deputy that saw
Are you just
the original sheriff get killed by Bragg. If I could get through this. And so they end up being able to charge him and arrest him, and then he gets hired, and the Shelton brothers come in and bust him out, and they also they take Allie with them, and go on the run to basically.
I feel like she also
rescue
went
everybody.
very willing.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe she did, but
Yeah.
she technically was kidnapped.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
it's hard
Oh,
to tell.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, so Virgil's like, they took my prisoner. I gotta go get this guy, get him back, and then I guess we'll rescue Allie too.
Yeah. But I feel like Cole at this point, Cole has found himself into a position that he's not super familiar with. He's trying to do a job and get this job done,
Mhm.
but he finds himself in a situation where they're able to evade him, but also use emotional
Mhm.
tactics towards him.
Right. He's
And
never
so-
really been attached to a woman like this before.
No. Well, he's
Right.
never really found himself, or very few times has he found himself his back against a wall. Like
Right.
this.
Right. He's always in control of the situation.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they illustrate that really well throughout the book about how he's like always have a jump on everybody else.
Yeah, I think Hitch talks about that.
Mhm.
He's like I think he said it through narration where he's like he never has to think if he's thought that like one step ahead, Cole is like 4 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he knows that if someone's going to run through that door, Cole's going to be on the other side of that door
Right.
automatically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cole seems to know everything that's going to happen before it happens.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's a tactical magician.
Yeah. And so these guys are like they're out in they're tracking this group of people who are they're in pursuit, I guess is a better way to put it.
Right.
Which actually leads me to my absolute favorite part of the book, for me personally, which is the encounter with like the natives,
the Native Americans. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but that part was like,
Yeah.
it was like kind of tense. It was a little bit
It's
like
very tense. It
it
showed the prowess of the Native Americans and
and
how
it was also funny. Like it was like
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
like it was
Well,
really
even like how they presented it is they knew that the Native Americans were there or were
Yeah.
out
Mhm.
there.
yeah
But then I couldn't remember I can't remember if it was Cole or Hitch. It might have been Hitch that saw them,
Mhm.
like where one of them just rode up on his horse to the top of that hill.
It was Hitch.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hitch.
Hitch,
right
yeah,
there.
and just
He's like, I'm
and
just
just
gonna
saw
go up
like
there.
he just stood there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with feathers and everything like that.
And he just
He
comes
was
up
like-
to him and he puts his
Yeah.
hand on it, and then Indian puts. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Indian because that's what they say in the book, but
Yeah.
the Native American Indian guy puts his hand on Everett's shoulder and then just like runs away.
he smiles at him and then they run and then they ride
and,
off.
then he's like good, and he's
And
he-
this is after like a lot of tension has been mounting.
and like multiple people on both sides have now died.
Right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
turns into like the very first game of tag.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So the Apache essentially counts coup on him, and they're like, all right, I guess we're good now. And it cracked me up. I was like, honestly, this would bother me in another book, but this makes sense in the context of this.
It does.
It's
And
so funny.
It's
I
kind
love
of a great way for that section of the book to end.
it. Yeah.
Because I mean, to put a little more context on it, is they're tracking the Shelton brothers and Bragg and Allie, Virgil and Everett are, and they come across I think like a dead deer or something like that, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, it's probably killed by the Native Americans, and then eventually they find. Oh, we have to talk about this part. Tell you what, do we need to take a quick beer break and then we'll come back and talk about this part with
Let's do
That
that.
seems like
Valley.
a great
Let's do it.
break point. So yeah, we'll come back. We'll get into we're kind of in what the later half.
The last two,
Yes.
the last third, maybe.
Yeah. So we'll finish on that, and we'll go over. I don't know, crack another beer because
Cool.
I got something more. couple of surprises up my sleeve here. So, all right, we'll talk about that when we come back.
Beer break.
Cool. Beer break.
All right, folks, we are back from our beer break.
We're back.
And
Beer break.
we're back. We all have fresh beers, and we're ready to go into this next part of the book. We left off with Virgil and Hitch tracking the Shelton brothers and Bragg.
I wanted to talk about my beer.
So anyway, we were following.
Yeah, so Allie is out here and she's naked in the middle of a stream, and everyone's like, "What's going on?"
What's she doing over there?
She's
All
like,
right, Matt.
And you know what she was doing? She was asking Matt about his beer.
So Matt, don't leave Allie hanging. Tell us about the new beer that you have.
Is that some foresight there? No. The beer
I don't really know where you were going with that, but
I went with a new beer. This one is from WeldWorks here in Colorado, from Greeley. This is
fantastic
WeldWorks.
brewery.
We're
Unless you're Aaron.
Jesus, I can't even use my words. WeldWorks Brewing. This is actually a collaboration. So
WeldWorks ASMR.
all of us at some point in our life have actually spent some time, lived in Austin, and lived or spent some time.
I mean, I was born
This is
there.
actually a collaboration with the Pint House Pizza.
Pint House Pizza, which is one
Pint
of the
House
best
Pizza.
breweries in the Austin area. It's
I
so
miss
good.
Not just a pizza
missing
place.
No, it's way. Yeah,
I would also say the pizza there is top notch.
I haven't really run across some better than that here. Tell you that.
I haven't either.
This is called Thunder Snacks. Thunder Snacks.
Thunder Snacks, ho!
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I highly recommend. This is about as close as I've seen to a jellyfish.
By the way, this beer has nothing to do with the book. Matt was just super excited about it, and I don't blame him.
He's wanted everyone to know about it, and now we know.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what he's here for.
And now Allie French knows about your beer.
As soon as I drank this, I was like, nope, forgot the book altogether.
I just want to talk about this beer.
Yes, that's me. All right, getting back in. Allie loves the beer, and action.
So Virgil and Hitch have been tracking this group. I don't want to keep saying all their names. And eventually they come up on this hill and they can kind of see over their encampment. So it's the Sheltons. I'm going to say their names, I guess. The Sheltons and Allie and Bragg and all their people that are kind of with them.
They're goons.
They're goons. Good word for that. They're henchmen.
Yeah.
And they have I guess they have binoculars or a spyglass of some kind. Can't remember. But so Hitch is looking over there and he sees Allie and Ring Shelton kind of messing around a little bit in the river. They're both naked, messing around.
Having a lot of fun for a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks real comfortable
Naked in a
for
river.
for a kidnappee. And
Well, we want to just talk about real quick and clarify that we are not victim blaming here.
we
We're
are
talking
not
about the book.
about the book. She
About
just
the book.
I mean, it describes her as laughing and
Jovial.
all,
Yeah, she
And-
is jovial.
and so then I think Hitch hands the spyglass or whatever they're using over to Virgil, and Virgil looks and is like, all right. He doesn't say it, but basically you can hear his thoughts of, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And so they don't really talk about it, and they decide to wait it out. I don't quite recall how they get over to the camp. I think they kind of backtrack and sneak over there into the wooded area, basically.
They do. They go back into the wooded area
Yeah.
to try to avoid the gunfire back at them.
Right. They don't want to give their position away. They don't have a fire. I would also like to point out that during this tracking session, there's a lot of like salted pork and coffee being cooked and drank and all this
Yeah.
stuff along the way.
Hardtack.
Hardtack.
Yeah. Which
I
is,
also want to draw an extreme parallel of this, like stalking someone else's open campfire scene to a previous book that we've read.
Mm.
It's very similar scene of like, and then because at the end they have to all team up, and so
Yes, they do. Very
Yeah.
similar.
Very similar.
This one, they also have the conversation about the fire, whether you could see it, anything
Yeah.
like that, is
Mhm.
way longer than you think it would be.
But eventually they get over there, and I think they
two
Go
other
ahead.
book, two other books, because that's exactly what happens in the Dog Stars too.
when
he's
does
he's like scoping out their little camp scene, and then they end up sneaking up on him with a shotgun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
So
That's right.
all these, every book we have from now on has to have some sort of campfire.
I mean, I
sneak-up
think that's
scene.
a kind of a
Just
Oof.
saying.
like a traditional campfire scene. People can see your
I love it.
campfire. And,
I think it's great.
yeah.
I'm if there's ever a scene in a book or a movie with a campfire that's being snuck up on, I'm in.
Basically, if you're having a campfire in a book or a movie, you're going to get snuck up on.
It's gonna happen.
But also, we're going to read it. So
we're gonna read
And we're also
that's-
going to read it.
Yeah.
That's our number one question. When if anybody reaches out to us or gives us a recommendation, how many campfires do they have?
That's
Yeah.
right.
If you can't tell me that, move on.
We actually won the campfire scene primetime Emmy. It was awesome. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, yes. We finally did it,
We
guys.
finally did it.
But eventually they get over there and they kind of, because the Native Americans are a threat at this point, which we've already talked about. And so they get over there and they're talking to Ring and all his goons and stuff. And I think, is Allie still naked at this point? Did they catch her naked? Is that what happens? I can't remember. I remember
don't
she had to
remember.
wear like some man's clothes
Mm-hmm.
and looked really silly, but she had to keep wearing them, which, was fine.
I think the Native Americans might have stole her clothes, if I remember right.
I think you might be right about that. And so basically they're like, we have to team up and we have to assess this threat and we have to be ready to fight, kind of thing. And apparently Hitch is a little knowledgeable about the habits of the Native Americans, so they trust in him and what they're going to do. And they kind of plan out their whole defense system. And then we already talked about how eventually Hitch is like, I'm just going to go talk to him. I'm just going to go see what's up. And then he goes up there and we just lays his hand on his shoulder and then laughs and rides off. And I do want to mention that the reason why that works is because he can say he got that close to his enemy and to touch him. And that's kind of
And leaving
Yeah.
him alive and then running
Right.
away and surviving is more impressive than like sneaking up and killing him.
right, exactly.
It's fantastic. Like it's a fantastic tension breaker in the middle of that scene. It's so good.
It's great the way they
Yeah.
did that, because I mean, you don't really want these main characters to die at this point, right? So I agree, that was a great way to handle that scene and to move on to the next part of the book. So eventually they do get out of there, and they have to kind of break their truce, and they get to this town and they're staying there, and they're basically like, all right, we know what we got to do here, so we're gonna meet up tomorrow and we're gonna have a shootout, basically. Which this is one of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene of the book.
Where they meet up at the OK Corral.
I mean, essentially, that's kind of like what it is, right?
Pretty much.
It's a lot of parallels between this story.
I mean, it's a Western. There's going to be shootouts.
They're all exactly.
That's all they did.
That's all they did. Yeah.
In the 1880s, it was just
You're
like,
telling me they went to a town and got deputized to have to get rid of a bad group of people. These ones weren't called the Cowboys. Yeah. So it's pretty sure this is Tombstone. They weren't going. It wasn't his family, and they didn't show up to get rich. That's the only difference.
true. But yeah, so there's another tense scene that we lead up to here, where everybody, they got to meet up and they got to have their shootout and get Allie and get Bragg. And I love how they lead up to this, and they know it's going to be a tough fight, and they get up and this shootout is over in like 2 minutes. It's so fast, and I love how Hitch this is one of my favorite lines in the book, even though it's just really simple. Where he's like, well, that's basically, he's like, this was over really fast, and Virgil's like, everybody could shoot.
He's like, so, yeah, that is a good scene. It's from the way that it happens so quickly and the way that they're just, the response to it is like, all right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
that.
that's one of the things about this book is you kind of think some things might drag on a little bit,
Mhm.
and then they kind of subvert your expectations, and they don't.
It's
Like-
there's a lot of very John Wayne-esque parts of this book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you didn't call anybody Pilgrim.
that's,
So
well,
that's
Well, there's some missed opportunity there.
yeah, definitely.
listen, we can talk about
Definitely.
the things we didn't like about the book later.
Look that'll be fixed by the time this becomes a movie. Okay.
It already
It already
became
is a movie.
Yeah. But okay,
Like-
a Netflix series.
Like
There you go.
15. There's not enough there to make a series.
Okay, fine. What do you
Matt,
work
all your
for,
ideas
like,
are
what do you
terrible.
work for MGM? Like Jesus.
I mean,
But-
He
I'm
does
trying
work for
to.
MGM. It's crazy. He didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
earlier?
I'm trying to get a daytime Emmy.
We got you covered there.
We already got our daytime Emmy. But yeah, so they get Allie back, but Bragg in this whole scuffle runs off like a coward, as he does. Obviously, Hitch and Cole win this shootout, and the Shelton brothers are all dead. But it was a heck of a shootout, and just a heck of a shootout.
Just a heck.
And so, they get back to Appaloosa, and I'm trying to remember at what point Allie tells Cole about her and Hitch. Like, they start talking about how,
No, because Hitch's friend, what's her face? What's her name?
Katie?
Katie. Yeah. It was like, you need to tell him first.
yeah.
And he does. And he does tell her first, doesn't he? Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a while since I finished. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. He tells her first, and then so when Katie tells her, he's like, you got to tell him before she does, because she'll tell him a whole different story. And so he did tell her, and then once, because it was a whole thing when Allie was like, "Don't you believe me instead of him?" And he's like, "No, I believe him." And it
Yeah.
was like, yeah,
I loved that.
yeah,
She's like, she's trying to say, this is how it happened. He was all over me, blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
And then Everett's like, no, it wasn't like that.
Nope.
And then he's like, nope, it wasn't.
Yeah, if he says it wasn't, then it wasn't. Which I like. It's again, this book's about a story about friendship. It's a weird
I mean-
friendship, but it's a friendship.
But based on what we know about these people,
Mm-hmm.
about Allie and how she behaves
Mm-hmm.
and how Hitch behaves, Hitch has never betrayed Virgil's trust
Right.
at any point, and Allie has, out in the open,
Yeah.
betrayed his trust. So
So this is
it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that's an interesting part of the book, right? Because this is a part of the book where I was like, I thought it was over, and then I look at the thing and I'm like, there's still a lot left.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
good decent amount left.
Like if this was like the Magnificent Seven, that little shootout scene would have been it, and that would have been the whole
Mhm.
thing. But Bragg is like, it's like there's a big skip forward in time where Bragg is now, he's been pardoned by the presidents, and he's got like a business working out, and he's just trying to,
I
Yeah.
love how they never explain how this happens.
yeah, he just like, he
Like,
just, all of a sudden
yeah.
he's just back in business.
I feel like the author he got like 90% of the way through the book, and he got the call where he thought he had like another year to write it. And they were like, "Cool, we're excited to read your book next week." you know?
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh shit. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do."
Right.
Yeah.
So so he's like, he's back in town. He's allowed to, he's roaming
He's
around.
got all this money apparently.
He's trying
and-
to buy the town essentially, right?
and all these councilmen and people that were against him before are all starting to sweeten up to him because
Yeah.
he's got money. He's giving them things that they
And
they
then
haven't had before.
and Allie's playing very terribly the piano in the bar and kind of flirting with him a little bit because he
Nonstop.
owns the bar. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of like, this is like Deadwood essentially all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is very, very similar in
Yeah.
that sort of scenario. But
Great show.
I know, right? And so, but it's just this kind of like, this kind of the town's kind of turned into like his town, even though, and there's not he's doing it legally though, so there's nothing.
Yeah, he's doing it
Cole can do
legally.
about
Bragg is getting everything he wants
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
He's got a pardon, and if we know something about Virgil, is he sticks to the law. He's basically, if it's within the law, he'll do it. If it's outside the law, he won't do it. No
Right,
matter
yeah.
if he wherever he is, whatever that law is, that's what he sticks to.
Right.
So,
So-
basically, we read this book for nothing.
Well, just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Yeah.
So basically, there's towards the end of the book, Allie's playing the piano terribly, as she does.
She does.
And then I think Bragg comes and like signals her to come upstairs. And so she goes upstairs in the hotel, and Hitch decides, I'm going to go ahead and follow her and see what's going on here.
Turns out they banging.
They bang, and he gets
They
up
bang.
into the hallway, and Allie is out there and like kissing Bragg after they've done their business. And she even looks at Hitch and smiles, I believe, gives him a little quirky smile, like, ha ha ha, I can do what I want, and you can't do anything about it, kind of thing. And Hitch has had enough. He says, you've wronged my best friend. This is where you know they're truly friends.
Mhm.
You've wronged my best friend. I'm not taking this anymore. Calls out Bragg, brings him outside. He makes him come outside for a duel, for a shootout, right? And this is one of my favorite parts. I love how he's trying to challenge Bragg, and Bragg is like kind of not into it. He doesn't want to do it. And Hitch just starts slapping him in front of everybody, just embarrassing him. Like, come on, get your ass out here. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And eventually he gets him out there, and he and Cole is kind of just like, I guess I'm going to let this happen. And,
We're gonna let this end.
and
We're gonna let
so
this
happen. And so they have their shootout, and obviously Hitch kills Bragg because Bragg is a little bitch.
Yep.
And he shoots him dead, kills him, hugs Virgil, and rides off into the sunset, and that's the end of the book.
Yep.
Yep.
Very abrupt end, but I just love it because Bragg this whole time you're just like, somebody needs to
Yeah,
do
it kind
something
of
with
got
this
you
guy.
on like you started by, because it went long enough to where you started to think like, really? Like, this
Yeah.
is, like, I remember driving. I was driving listening to this, and I was like, seriously, this is how it's gonna end. It's,
Yeah.
this guy is gonna win. Like, you know,
It's
like
like, yeah,
pretty
like
much
a Game
exactly
of
what we were talking about.
Thrones-esque where the bad guys just keep winning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
like no one is gonna try to kill Joffrey. Really?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
no.
the worst.
Well, kind of to Matt's point, it was like it's like he turned in the book, and they're like, "Really, the guy gets away with it at the end? You're going to need to rewrite the end of this
Yeah.
book."
Yeah.
And so they did.
So
yeah.
yeah, we did we workshopped your book, and people hated the fucking ending.
hated the ending.
Yeah.
Like,
So what are we gonna
really
do about
hated
this
it.
ending?
Yeah,
Yeah, there were a lot of deep drawls. Yeah.
yeah. Call me dwarf one more time. Yeah.
You feeling strong?
You're an elf.
He's an angry elf.
He's an angry elf.
Oh, man.
But no, yeah, it was. I did like that ending. I like that. I kind of actually like the fact that he just killed him, and then it's just done. It's
Yeah.
He's like,
that's
that's the end. Now there is a sequel to this book.
Hmm.
But I personally I've read this book multiple times. I've never gotten to the sequel because I
Yeah.
just love the way that ends. Bragg gets his, Everett's gone. He, he did it. He helped his friend or did what he thought was right for his friend. And there's
That's
all,
awesome.
he also has like a conversation with Virgil about what's right and what's, when is it right to kill a man? When is it, and they have this great conversation. And then he's like, I can't take this anymore. I got to do it.
Yeah. So wrapping it up, Dave, what are your final thoughts on the book? Maybe your favorite moment in the book in it, 2 minutes or less. And what would would you recommend this book?
Don't put a
to people?
time limit on me.
Come on, I have to. I have to for that specific reason. If you say don't put a time limit, you fucking need a time limit.
Look, I love this book. I remember the first time I read it just being like, this is so great. Like, I just love the fast pace. It's a quick read. It's fun. It's action packed. It's
is
a
action
lot
packed,
of
yeah.
no nonsense, not messing around kind of thing. I get into the characters. There's definitely like there's a little bit of moral ambiguity into it. And there's these characters that don't seem that complex that get a little more complex as you go along. And there's a guy in the book that you just want him to get what he deserves.
Yeah.
And eventually he does, and that's how we end the book. I would definitely recommend this book. I'd recommend a lot of books by Robert B. Parker. If you like this style of a book, it's just fast paced, no nonsense.
I'm sure we're going to get into his more
catalog.
crime, his more
Yeah.
crime books.
The Spencer
at
series is
some point.
great.
Yes.
I would definitely recommend that as well. But if you love westerns, you love gunslinging, you love no nonsense characters, you like some funny dialogue, I really would recommend this book. What do you guys think?
I'll go. I agree with you. The only thing that I would say differently would be is, well, before I get there, I would say my one of my favorite part was, you get through most of the book right before really the ending, scene and stuff like that. When Allie tries to throw Hitch under the bus and was like, he
Mhm.
tried to kiss me, blah blah blah. Like she tries to do the whole, whole show and to Cole. You know how at that point you know how strong that their friendship and their partnership is and
Mhm.
everything, but it's never fully been tested like this. But you learn everything you need to know right at that moment when Cole just looks to her or looks to Hitch and says, "Is that true?" And Hitch just goes, "No."
Yeah.
And Cole's like, "Okay, it's not true."
Yeah.
He knew everything he needed to in that one answer,
Yeah.
and it just all the power that she had was out the window.
Mhm.
Everything. So that was really one of my favorite parts. As far as the book goes itself, I do agree with you. I did like it. I actually started to like it more as it went. Within the first few chapters, I kind of still was on the fence with it. And I think it really comes down to the writing style of it. Listening to the audiobook, I personally would recommend if someone wants to listen to it or if someone wants to read it, actually read the book.
I would agree with that.
The audiobook for this one was a little hard to listen to. There's so many things, there's so many parts to it that aren't part of the story that take you out of the story. Very often, because again, we kind of touch base on this where it's being narrated by Hitch, but he doesn't narrate it very often. So it's a lot of this person said this person said this, he said this. And that to me, I just kept getting taken out of the story. Whereas other books, the way they're written, the audiobook, I actually can find myself being immersed in the story even more, kind of thing. So that's my final thoughts.
So my favorite part of the book, I think we discussed already, with the counting coup scene. But my runner up here for this specific part of the conversation is when Bragg first gets arrested and they have him in the jail, and his posse comes in to try to rescue him. I don't know why, but it just really caught me in a good way. Cole is outside and like confronting the thing, and he just yells back into Everett or to Hitch. He's like, "If they do anything, just shoot
him.
Shoot Bragg. Like,
yeah,
just shoot him. There's no way anyone's gonna get what they want out of this." And so, but just the way, but just so matter of fact, like, shoot Bragg.
He's like, "You can kill me, but I'm gonna win."
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's such a good like small modicum of the book, but I really like that as a moment of like, all right, you guys can like kind of like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal.
I have to say, I love the character of Virgil Cole. He's just no nonsense. I've said it over and over again, but he does not mess around. He's like, you can do what you think you want to do, but it ain't gonna work out for you.
Yeah. To your point before of like how he thinks 4 steps ahead. He's already thought through all the scenarios to be like, all right,
exactly.
Well, if you do this, then you're
holy
still
shit.
lose.
It's Jason Bourne.
Read. Pamela, you need to get a little sleep. You look tired. Anyway, but yeah, that's but overall, I really enjoyed the book. Like you said, it's a really quick read. I think I read it in like 2 days, and
Yeah, it's a really quick read. Not a it's not a long
Yeah.
book. It's not like extremely short, but not
No.
super
Yeah.
long.
I know. Even the audiobook was what, like 6 hours long.
It's
Something
not
like
bad.
that.
Nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
it's not like some westerns. There's also westerns like any of those
Lonesome Dove.
yeah. Well, some of those were just like, oh my gosh,
Start reading it now.
you're like-
we'll talk about it next year.
Like, okay, if you can describe a sunset again, that'd be cool. With like other adjectives, it's like, all right, I like it a couple times, but we don't really need to dive into it every single time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
That's kind of Robert Parker's writing
it's
style.
huge,
Is just
huge.
like we're gonna move this book along, and it's gonna be engaging the entire time.
so I want to interject really one more thing about Robert Parker. I thought because I always looked up the authors and kind of see what they're all about, and so he passed away in 2010, not that long after this book came out, actually.
Yeah.
And so he had been asked by like an interviewer or whatever, like how do you think your books will be viewed in 50 years? And his reply was, don't know, don't care. Which I love. Which is like really feeds into the writing style and it makes it seem
It
even
does.
more
That's-
authentic to like his actual person.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate
Yeah.
it a whole lot more like knowing that.
It's just like, what do I care? I'm gonna be dead.
Kind of. He's also like,
Yep.
yeah, this is also me making me money and providing for my family. So
Yeah.
whatever.
He wrote a lot of books.
For a lot of books.
No, that's great. So with that, closing that book, moving on to the next one. Before we jump into what we're going to do next, and kind of what's coming up for the whole team, let's take a quick break.
Yep.
And we'll come back.
Close this bad boy
All
out.
right.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna close it out.
All right, folks, we're gonna wrap this one up. We got a couple fresh beers, but we're gonna put a bow on this Appaloosa episode. I think we all enjoyed the book. It was very, very enjoyable.
It was.
We did enjoy it.
We
It was
enjoyed it.
enjoyable.
And it was
We
very
enjoyed
enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable.
Here for your breaking
So we
analysis. It's the
we enjoyed
boys.
this book. And,
We know other words. We're real good.
and
We're
I did
good at
enjoy
reading.
it. Anyway, so next up, Matt, you are the chosen one
I have
to
been
choose our
chosen.
next book to read. So you better make it a good one.
Yeah, I think I got a good one for you guys. This one, it really did come down to I had a list of about 4 books that honestly we would have been good, any direction we went there.
Just
But
Put them in your
we've
back
done,
pocket.
we've done a lot of westerns. We've spent we've
We've done 2
really kind of stayed
westerns.
within a couple genres here. So I wanted to change it up a little bit, but not go something, but end up in a full circle here. So I'm going to go. Our next book is going to be The Tiger by John Valent. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. So in a quick 20-second pitch is this book, The Tiger, is about a village in Russia, in Eastern Russia, that was basically plagued, I guess you would say, by a tiger that would murder and pillage.
The Tiger Plague.
Yeah, tiger plague. It's a tiger NATO that would come through. But the story.
So
really
it's a golf
focuses-
book?
Yeah. Tiger. He came in and he just fucked all the girls. No,
All the
he,
Waffle House waitresses.
yeah. So really, it's killing people, but really what they kind of find out is this tiger's not just randomly killing people. It's really vengeance for what has been done to kind of its past, its ancestors, anything like that. There are 3. The way the book comes across is they tell the story through 3 main characters, and one of those characters is the tiger itself. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Can't make this shit up.
Sounds very interesting.
So,
I look forward to it.
It's very much a more involved story, one of my favorite stories, and Dave, you both have known me for a long time, but David, we've had this conversation. One of my favorite stories is The Ghost in the Darkness. I love that. I
immediately thought of that when you brought this up.
I loved everything about it. This is kind of a similar story, but it focuses more on the local tribes and local people in that village over time. This happened in 1997, but it stems from things that have been happening for many, many years, kind of thing. So the Tiger is going to be the next one we're going to talk about. I think it's going to be a great book. I'm excited to everything that I've even looked into it. Obviously, I didn't want to read it beforehand, but everything that I kind of went into it was like, this seems like a cool story. So
Cool.
That's kind of where we're at there. But other than that, before we call it a day, what do you guys got going on coming up? Anything?
Yeah, man.
Any
Well,
adventures?
I'm going to Texas next week to visit some family and friends, and then hopefully getting a couple more ski days in this year. But
Nice.
my wife just got accepted to do this hike of Mount Shasta, so she's gonna
Saw that.
train for that. So I'm hopefully going to be able to support that training effort, and so just lots of hiking in the future, which is never a bad thing.
Never been. Mount Shasta's nice too.
Yeah, never been up
You
there,
get
so I'm excited about
that area of California is beautiful.
Pretty pristine.
'Cause,
Still,
I mean,
yeah.
it's at that point you're borderline. I mean, you're more or less Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, is Shasta considered Pacific Northwest?
I think something like I can't even
Something,
remember where it
yeah.
starts. It's like somewhere where like the Sierras end and the Cascades begin. And
Yeah.
that's kind of near
Yeah.
there. So I don't know.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
I don't have much coming up. Nothing crazy fun. Not really, at least in the next month. We have some stuff. We're planning some trips and vacations coming up within the next few months. But nothing crazy. I'm going to try to do some while the weather gets a little bit better around here, try to do a little more hiking, a little more outdoor stuff. Maybe once the lakes unfreeze, maybe buy a canoe and do some canoeing.
Cool.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, I've been asking for a canoe for Christmas and my birthday for a while, and it just does not happen.
I mean, you live in an actual place where you could use it now.
Exactly. So I might just have to stop waiting and pull the trigger on my own, and just ask for forgiveness.
You should just build like a Sears strip canoe and just
Just build it.
I'm just gonna chop down a tree and carve out a dugout.
Haul it out.
Just why not?
You're gonna chop that tree down.
That's right.
I was afraid where you were going with that.
But no, that's awesome. That's kind of my that's where I'm at. I have a couple things coming up. I think I'm gonna try to do mountains next weekend. I think I'm gonna try to go. I'm gonna go to casino. Yeah, that
Nice.
sounds
Wow.
good.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna go to the highest casino in the country.
Nice.
Yeah.
Elevation wise,
We'll find out. To be continued.
TBC.
So yeah, it should be a good time. But again, I really appreciate everybody that our one listener.
yes.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
all you listener out there,
Yeah. But we're coming back. We're going to come back with the Tiger.
That's
Come
right.
back with some additional beers.
That's right.
And there we go.
All right.
guys.
Cool.
thank you for listening.
Thanks
To
everybody.
Jasper.
To Jasper.
Jasper.
Cheers.
Cheers.